We got Daren Ganga, very well known, former West Indian opening batsman and now renowned cricket commentator. He's travelled around the world. He's done a lot of work in league. So we thought, as he's part of the Lanka Premier League commentary team, to just get his views on what he thought about the Lanka Premier League. Daren, thanks for joining us. First and foremost, your thoughts on the Lanka Premier League. You've seen some games, you've seen it sort of blossom in this tournament so far. How do you see it?
Well, what I can say is it's great to be in Sri Lanka, and I know that Sri Lanka has a great cricket legacy. What I've seen so far is an abundance of talent. First up, I think all credit must go to Sri Lanka cricket in terms of the sacrifices they've made to put on this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League, because we're in a global pandemic and it's not easy, as we've seen, for test playing nations to host tournaments, to host a bilateral series and matches. So that's a big plus. It shows that there is cohesion, there's organization, and there's a great depth and deep passion for the sport here. What I can say about the tournament so far, in terms of entertainment value, very high, and I say that because of the actual cricket that we've seen on the field. Average first inning scores started at around 200, now that is around 180, and we're into the 12th match, so about halfway in the league stage. So that alone shows the consistency with what we've seen from batsmen. From a bowling point of view, seam and fast bowlers have dominated, and we're seeing spinners now playing their part. If you talk about Sri Lankan cricket, you always need to mention the spinners because of the likes of Murli, Rangahirat, all these guys who have gone before and who have dominated world cricket. So you expect to see, some uniqueness, you expect to see talent, and we have seen that in terms of the players. So entertainment, great. What I think is also a great asset for Sri Lanka, the country itself. It's a neutral country, and where it's positioned in the subcontinent, it could attract all the subcontinental nations from the point of view of players, from the point of view of sponsors, in terms of viewership as well. It's prime time for a lot of the bigger nations as well in the cricketing world. So that to me is a unique advantage. If you compare it with the CPL, the West Indies where I come from, if I try to take my mind back to when the CPL just started, it was a great challenge for Cricket West Indies and the CPL organizers. A lot of things were not in place, logistical challenges, players did comment about things not being arranged properly, so you will have teething problems. So far my experience has been great. I haven't heard about that. I think the focus has been about the cricket, the cricketers, which to me is another great compliment to Sri Lankan cricket, to IPG, and to everyone involved in this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League.
Yeah, you're someone who's done now the IPL, you spoke about the CPL, now you're here. I know it's not fair to compare it, this is just early days, but how do you see this league, the potential of this league?
Well, as I mentioned, it's a great opportunity for investors to get in at this time, because as we've seen in the IPL, the increase in value in when you cost a franchise over the period of 10 years, that can be a great investment for anyone looking to make returns on their money. So if you get in early in this league, I think there is a sort of bandwidth and latitude to make your money grow, because I'm sure the investment now is not going to be as significant maybe in 5 years time, in 10 years time. So if I was someone who was deeply involved with the game of cricket, and I have some finance to invest, I'll be investing in this league. Because of that fact, there is a great opportunity for it to grow. So that's one. What I also must say is the cricketers from here, I've seen an abundance of young cricketers. Sri Lankan cricket, in my estimation, is going through a bit of a transition. When you look at maybe Kumar Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardena, these guys, Dilshan, these guys leaving cricket, you think about Lassit Malinga, who is at the back end of his career. There is an opportunity for young players to come through, and what to me is another great thing about this My 11 Circle Lanka Premier League is it will usher in a new bunch of Sri Lankan cricketers. It will expose them. We only saw one Sri Lankan cricketer play in the IPL, which is considered the creme de la creme in terms of T20 leagues around the world. That's Usiru Udana. But I would like to see more Sri Lankans playing at that level. The inspiration that we've seen from the player Vyaskant, who just played as an 18-year-old. Today he's 19. the first player from Jaffna to play, that is inspiration for next generation of Sri Lankan cricketers. So the exposure for having opportunities in other leagues, that could only be a credit to Sri Lankan cricket. And I really see this league blossoming and growing in stature as years go on.
In the midst of all what you said, I mean, you would have invested in this league.
Of course.
Any plans?
Maybe. I spoke to Russell Arnold about the value in terms of owning one of these franchise teams here. And it's a wonderful investment for anyone. I can tell you, if you do your due diligence, I would be here investing. I mean, I'm from another part of the world, but I'm saying in terms of corporate sponsors, in terms of the mileage, in terms of the people, in terms of playing in Sri Lanka as well. We're fortunate we had one venue. We've thoroughly enjoyed our time here. This is a tremendous tournament, and I think it will only grow from strength to strength.
Daren Ganga, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you very much.